The representational mind versus the subtle energy of the moment. Zelda knows all about this. We want the tangible thing, the thing our mind can perceive. We see the surface reality instead of the subtle energy reality. There's this mind-based reality, the ideal person we want to be, the ideal life, the status, the food, the peers. It almost becomes like a drug, the romantic partner, even a spiritual transformation. It can exist on this idea plane or this conceptual plane. Like I walk into a room and see a girl I'm attracted to, and I'm like, how can I get her number? And that's not bad, or it's not wrong to want that. It creates like a separation where I'm focusing on like a goal, and I don't notice the subtler energies. And maybe the ultimate thing is just being able to tune into the subtler energy. Like the mind, we can get stuck in there somehow, or it's like we think, like our thoughts like speed up. It's like this like stress thing, so that the heart never can like have time to feel energy.
And relax and feel energy.
Yeah, to relax.
Yeah,
like the mind can tangle us in this stress mode, this productivity. Like I'm going to achieve my book, I'm going to achieve my running 5 miles. We come in with our skills and everything, but like we can't feel the energy.
You might be able to have both, but that's not where
This is just addressing the way that the ideas can create like a stress like network or like whatever you call it, like a stress suck.
I think it's the kids.
Our energy is focused on the mind. We use the intellect to impress others and get what we want. The mind appears to be our greatest asset. It makes us kind of top-heavy. It's like there's like so much spinning around in there. Like, oh, what books did you read? And can you quote those chapters?
Yeah.
Like, I got to be funny. I've got to be clever.
Right. I totally agree.
Yeah, we're not just feeling like oh, I'm here and I can see you.
Jokes. I hate that. People do that.
It's not terrible. Like it's like, but like when you feel like a pressure, like I'm supposed to be clever, like oh, then you think I'm not smart enough. So just understanding the body has like a natural energy, that's worthwhile in and of itself. We never slow down to the speed of the heart. Anxiety and stress fuel our goals.
Wow.
We don't even realize it's happening. We're achieving all this stuff in this stress mode. We don't even know we're stressed. We say we are being productive, an illusory, stressed, idea-based productivity, and it influences a lot of society.
That's poetic. We never slow down to the speed of the heart. I mean, that's poetic.
It is poetic.
That's yours. You made that up?
That's me.
That could be famous.
I believe that what we call neural disorders may just be an exaggerated form of this basic mind-heart dilemma. This dilemma is the product of our technology-based isolation of our time. It's like we've seen this increase in like autism and all sorts of ADD, and why now I've heard that people have become more isolated in this time than they were like, say, 30 years ago, 20 years ago. Because maybe of like the increase in computers, people have more options for staying isolated, things to do when they're isolated, so connection isn't as instinctive. We get so used to being isolated that it changes our whole reality. We don't even know what connection is supposed to be anymore. It's like,
one guy came into my office and says, hey, I said, do you have any friends? He said, yeah, I have 300 friends. And this was years ago.
Yeah.
When this whole friend thing with Facebook was new.
Yeah.
I said, wow, you got 300 friends. And then he explained to me it's all online.
Huh.
And I go, how many of them do you ever see? And he says, none. That's kind of what you're talking about.
Exactly.
You could live your whole life on a computer and not be with anybody.
It helps us like feel something or gives us some gratification, but it's a problem when it becomes a replacement. We don't even know. Like, it's awkward. Like, oh, hey, do you want
to... They don't do that anymore.
They don't. What's going on? What's going on?
It is a societal thing.
Society idolizes the mind.
We're just talking about that.
Get smarter. Think faster. The intellect is seen as our greatest asset. And yet, by focusing so much on the intellect, we may be overlooking the energy potential of the heart. And by doing so, we may be inhibiting our full potential.
That's a truism.
It
Nobody
is.
could argue with that.
Just try and argue with me. Yeah.
Yeah, the intellect is seen as our greatest asset. Yeah, that's. Yeah, when you talk to a newborn, a parent of a newborn, you ask them like, what do you want?
Yeah, it's like we're all about like, oh, let's play classical music so the baby can become Einstein, or like it's this weird.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Is he getting A's? Is he getting all A's? Is he in the honor rolls?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And people don't talk about it.
Yeah.
That gotta
Yeah, it's like, does he have a good heart?
You know.
Is he loved?
Yeah, right.
Is his family happy? Is he happy?
Right.
Does he spend time with his cousins? My happiest times as a kid were always with my cousins, but like I didn't know why, or I was like, Mom, like I don't want to leave. But and it was hard because they were in another state, but I didn't understand it. But now it's like, oh, of course, like I was around like a bunch of kids my age, and there's this energy field. I wasn't like, I didn't know how to seek that out on my own, but when I had it, like I knew like that I was happy.
For other people, like it's a visit and they had a good time. But you even today, when you look back on it, you say, well, that was maybe one of the most important parts of my life.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, at the time I didn't really know, but it was a source of major like internal like strife. Like I remember coming back as like later on in my life and seeing my cousins and being like where is like my heart, or where is my energy and my love. Like when I got older, I got like more out of touch with myself, and I was like, oh, what was that thing that I had as a kid? It became so important in that moment because like when I was around them, I became aware of there was a time in my life where I was really happy or really energetic, but like normally that was like I wasn't even aware of that. Like I was like, oh, the stagnancy is normal, or we can consciously create community. When we slow down to the speed of the heart, we can notice and take in subtle energy influences from our environment. We learn not to be triggered by fear, by a traumatic past reaction we had to something, by anger, by anxiety. We learn that just being around people is important. So if someone rubs me the wrong way, I don't storm out. Like I know that there are times when maybe I have to speak up for myself or say like, hey, I didn't like the way you said that. But for the most part, like I learned to just be comfortable with myself and understand the value of people. It's like you just have to keep showing up, like understand the worth of it. When we learn to relax and just be, we open the body's natural ability to cultivate energy. We get out of our own way.
That's right. Yeah, get the ego out of the way. I like that.
It's funny, like to me a lot of my problem was like when I'm alone and isolated, like I'm not enough as I am. But when I'm with people, I am like it's enough to just be. It sort of became like a contradiction for me, because like I developed this idea like I needed to be something more, but that was just because like when I was isolating myself, I was like kind of inhibiting my own energy. Wow. So I had this notion like that I need something more. Yeah, it didn't. Yeah. It wasn't the cure. Like
it wasn't.
Like fun and people might have been the cure. Like I felt like I was supposed to be more than I was, because there's that place where I'm kind of drained because I've been living this like isolated life. Some people sort of like just have a natural like knack for this confidence, like whatever reason they ended up in the right environment. Some people just have it, like they just are confident. And recently I've started to wonder like it might have had to do with like the environment they grew up in. Like maybe they grew up with a lot of like siblings and there was just kind of like a natural community. There are a lot of things. Yeah, it's a lot of factors. Like are they treated well? Do they get along? But I believe the environment has a big influence. Like something I've noticed is like it's hard to figure it out on your own. Like,
Yes.
like I always like
I agree.
wanted like the romantic partner or whatever, but it's hard to like figure it out by yourself.
Right, I agree.
But if you've got like a good community of people, like then they can help you, and so it's like a product of like the energy of the environment, and not just like this act that I put on. It's not like this like solo lone wolf thing that I thought it was.
I need more paper.
Other people suffer and have no clue that greater sustainable levels of energy are even possible. We just kind of live our life in a slump or in isolation, and we don't even know that this happiness is available to us.
You're right, and it's a spiraling down effect.
Yeah,
and people think they're depressed for this reason or that.
Yeah, it's like, oh, something is wrong with my brain, like maybe I injured myself, maybe, or there's so many things. My hope is to show you how easy it is to cultivate higher potential, higher sustainable levels of energy. Their goal might be to have a girlfriend, you mean, or something like that, or write a book. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's like, I see this as the means of getting whatever you want. Yeah, for me, it's like the magnetism is it gets you whatever you want. It gets your brain boosted, intellect boosted. But yeah, it's like there's still not a lot of science backing all this stuff. Like it's still very theoretical.
But we don't have to worry about that.
I like to talk about it just in case like some new discovery appears and like because I believe in this stuff.
Right,
and
but we're probably light years away from.
Yeah, I'd say it's like we might have to wait like 20 years before some of this stuff really becomes significant.
Like what you said about your heart, that people don't get it.
They don't get it. We think happiness is something we have to suffer for.
Oh God, it's terrible.
Doing our ninjutsu, our evil ninjutsu.
That is a cool picture.
Yeah, just like some supervillain. The harder I work, the happier I'll be. Pain is gain.
No pain, no gain.
Yeah, we all have our cross to bear. If you're not suffering, then you're not living, or all kinds of stuff like that.
You're right. There's all these expressions. I went through it. I'm proud of it. Everybody is proud that.
I suffer. You should too. Suffer as I have suffered. Princess Mononoke. However, with the right awareness and seeking out the right surroundings, having the right action, the attitude, relaxing, this higher energy can be cultivated in only a matter of days.
Wow.
Although I'll give note to the reason it takes time to cultivate energy or to get the hang of it, or it can take longer because there's so many like subtle learnings that happen. The body is a complex machine. Sometimes we can rely on a single practice or belief system to kind of get us what we want in life. But I believe like when we understand the body on a more intricate level, like understanding the subtle energies that come from our environments and our thoughts, our attitudes, and what we say, our passion, we can learn to like utilize these energies and create the environments and seek out the environments that make us feel our fullest self. Thinking the body is like fixed in a certain way, or like my mind is limited,
we have to break those notions.
My energy is limited. Yeah,
exactly. We have to break that.
I believe that the full energetic capacity of the body is something quite compelling, powerful, something that is not often reached in current society because we're so terrible. You don't necessarily have to suffer for a better life. In fact, not suffering may be the best way to get a life with less suffering.
Okay.
Not always obvious, but yeah.
I don't think you're going to have arguments there.
Cooking buddies. Slow down to the speed of the heart.
You like that too.
Yeah.
You like that too. I knew it was good. You knew it was good too.
Yeah. Attract the life you deserve. You idiot. Baka is Japanese for idiot. Yeah. Yeah, no, I just like was trying to make use of that photograph. But that's it.
It's good.